The other day I was cutting the grass and I started thinking about dogfighting, and I was remembering someone was asking me about offset circles. And I'm on my old riding lawnmower and thinking, man, this lawnmower is similar to the Viper. It doesn't have the best AOA, it doesn't turn the best. And I was going around this tree thinking I need to cut the grass that's closest to the tree. And if I just stay in the turn that I'm in, I can go around this tree all day and never get to the grass that I'm trying to cut. And I was like, this is a lot like dogfighting. What I have to do is go a little bit wider on one of my turns, kind of extend a little bit, and then come back and make a closer pass to the tree. And what did I just do? I just created turning room. And I was like, maybe I'll make a video kind of explaining what I'm doing during my dog fights, because a lot of people don't understand turning room, they don't understand offset circles. I don't feel comfortable making how-to videos because I'm not an instructor, but if I could help someone and just tell them what I'm thinking, what I'm doing, I'll give it a try. So take what I say with a grain of salt. This is what I'm thinking. I'm just an above average player that really loves the two circle and the rate fight. So I'm merging a little bit faster than I normally do. Normally I like to go horizontal or oblique. So with all the speed I go straight over the top. And I always tell people it's kind of like merging in traffic. If you're waiting to pull onto the highway, you're not going to pull in front of the guy. You're going to let him pass you and then pull in behind him. And that's kind of what I'm trying to do when I go over the top. I kind of corkscrew in behind him. And now I'm checking my speed. I want to take advantage of that early G tolerance. And when it gets toward the top of my screen, which is the top of my vision, I'll go ahead and start to pull and see if I can pull him in. So now I'm starting to pull him in, and I know I can pull him all the way into the HUD, and I can even take some shots. So this is where he'll extend away, and you'll see kind of that like line of sight explosion. This is normally where I'd unload, but it looks like he's still slow. So I go ahead and pull again, and now it's all about closure, and it looks like he's trying to get me to overshoot. So you'll hear the throttle going in and out, and I'm just trying to watch the closure and not overshoot. So I like 550 as a nice average merge speed, and here I'm going to stay horizontal. And my speeds in the Viper, I like to start around 440 and work all the way down to 360. So those are kind of my parameters. So I saw I had a shot here, but I wasn't sure if it'd be a head-on.
Oh my, I'm just not going to slow down there, guys. I'm sitting here pulling. I got to fall all the way down. So I'm sitting at 500. Slow down.
Being in the F-15, he has better AOA. So I remember in this video, I was really trying to avoid trading shots. So here, I see the head-on coming, so what I do is just roll flat. And then I see he kind of goes into a one circle. So the way I counter that is to go straight over the top, but not straight at him. Corkscrew again, kind of like I did on the merge, to kind of roll in behind him. And then from here, I can see that I can just pull him in because he's slow. Watching my closure.
But why couldn't I at least be? I'm sitting there pulling a high amount of G over G, and not just with this speed.
You're not losing speed?
That's what I'm wondering why. Why are you telling me that? I'm just literally
asking a question.
Dumb response.
See how I kind of took the wrong path here? I definitely want to try to stay two circle lag. So even though I went pretty vertical, I'm still going to roll in behind him and stay in lag. And now I'm kind of unloading, letting my speed build. I like to go all the way to 450 before I go vertical. So I'm watching him and trying to decide what my next move is going to be. I see that he split S's. Now I could pull for a shot here if I'm safe, but he's got a lot of AOA, so I avoid the shot. And I'm just going to go back into my horizontal turn and try to keep this a two circle rate fight. But I don't want to take my eyes off of him, so I need to check to make sure he's not reversing for one. Rebuild my speed to around 430, that's where I like to be. And I see a head-on is coming, so I'm going to roll flat, try the jink, go up, and then back into the rate. I'm a little fast now. Yeah, that's fine. I'm trying to avoid it. It's okay.
Okay, I was like, I mean,
Nah, don't worry about it. I'm doing.
Yeah, I was saying it looked like it wasn't head on.
Don't worry about it. It's head-ons are fine. I'm trying to avoid it, but you feel free to take it. It's totally fine. %100% fine.
Well, I wasn't gonna shoot, but not making point towards it, so I was like, okay, maybe I got my nose on first or something. And I started shooting. It's hard to tell when you're avoiding the head on.
Doesn't matter. Like, if you want to shoot a head-on, feel free to shoot it. There's nothing wrong with it. So here, I can tell the sight picture's not the way I like it. So if I look up and I don't see him at the top of the screen, I need to increase my speed, and I'm going to go up to like 450 and try to move my circle just like I was earlier when I'm cutting the grass. So I've moved the circle a little bit. Now there's a line of sight explosion. I'm going to look up, and if he's at the top of the screen where I like him, maybe right about here, I can start to pull him. And you'll kind of get that timing the more you play, and you'll have to find your timing because everybody plays at like different perspectives.
Like I could not, I'm like sitting there barely pulling it.
I like to be around 550 for the merge. And a good lead turn is what you should do, but I a lot of times like to let the other guy make his move first. That way I can kind of pick my angle, and it's a lot easier for me in VR not having to move my head as much. And now it's just a rate fight, so I'm just gonna try to set my goal to be around 430. So I'm just gonna hold this number and wait for the sight cue to kind of line up. I want to get my timing where he's at the top of the screen, and now I'm going to start pulling. It's kind of a test pull. I want to see if I can pull him into my HUD and still be around 400. If I can pull him in the HUD and still have enough energy to pull more, I can take the shot. I can tell he goes for an overshoot, so I'm going to go straight vertical to be safe, and then come back in for a yo-yo shot. And I'm going to go ahead and pull for the shot here because I know he's slow, but I've got to be mindful of him trying to get me to overshoot. Alright, he's going for the overshoot, so I think I could have gone left here horizontally and just been in the 2 circle, but instead I went straight vertical, which I think is maybe a mistake. But again, he's really slow. I'm not trying to pull for the shot yet, I'm just trying to get position. I like to get my angles and my position and then pull for it. So he's really slow, and I'm still staying behind him in lag, not going for the shot yet, because I don't want to trade. I don't want it to become a head-on. So we're back in the rate, which is good for me. He's near the top of the screen, and I'm not at perfect rate speed, but I think, nope, I'm going to wait just to be safe. So I'm going to build to my 430 number at this point. And when he gets to that top of that screen and it looks pretty good, I'm at 430, I'll go ahead and try to pull him in again. I think I waited a little bit longer there. I think I could have pulled him in. So for sure here we can go ahead and pull him in. I think we're past due.
Bro, I can't offset. Why? I don't understand why I can't offset.
So to offset, lighten up your stick, gain speed, make the circle a little bigger.
Like I'm trying to offset and it does absolutely nothing.
And then you can also pull on the stick and make the circle tighter. Well, it's easier to offset with more speed.
But I mean, I'm gathering speed and then I'm pulling slowly and then I let go and gather speed. And to the top of my canopy and I start pulling and then literally you don't want to move. Like we're in the same spot. I mean, what am I supposed to do here? I guess I gotta gather so much speed I'm struggling to slow down or something because I guess I gotta sit there and just, over-G a bunch. Oh no.
It's a balance. So one of the things I try to do in the Viper is get my position first. I want to get position on you safely. And then I feel like once I'm in a safe position, I'm going to try to get my position before I want to get my shots and stuff. So here, I'm not going to think about the shot yet because I want to get a better position before I shoot. So here as well, I don't like that positioning, so I'm going to try to get a better one. So you'll start to notice when he gets in the top of my screen, in that position, that's where I like to pull him in. But, nope, not going for that one either. Just wait. If I think there's a chance that you can get a shot on me, I'll try to get like a better position. So he's at the top of the screen. This is where I should be pulling, but because I'm waiting too long, it's actually going to cause me to gain a lot of speed. So you see, as I'm lining up the shot, I'm gaining more and more speed, which means now I'm going to have to go more vertical. He reverses in the 1 circle, but I want to try to stay 2 circle, and I've got a lot of speed, so I need to stay up high and stay in the horizontal. And because he's going lower, I can actually pull quite a bit of energy off. In fact, I need to pull hard to get rid of a lot of the speed. And it's kind of tricky in VR because it's kind of hard to see where he's pointing in the aspect. What I don't want to do is pull so much lead that while I'm trying to line up my shot, he comes straight up and has a shot at me. So listen to the throttles as I try to stay behind him. So another thing to think about is setting up your merge. I like to be pulling as much G's as I can right as we merge. So a lot of times I'll go one side or the other just to see what the other player is going to do. So I'm making enough space going far to my left so that now I'll start pulling to the right, and see, I'm going to be pulling about 8.5 G's as we merge. So now I'm going to keep on pulling. Okay, he tries to go in the 1 circle. So what I'm going to do is stay low, and now I'm going to go over the top, and I'm trying to just go right back around and stay behind him. I'm not trying to pull for any shots. So I'm unloading on the down, and I'm going to build, I like to build around 450, and now we're going to pull to close the gap on the way up. And on the other side, when I start to go down, I like to be around 300. And if I go under that, I'm going to have to unload. I have to unload quite a bit so I can get back to 450. That's kind of my target number before I start to go back up. So we get close to it, we go over it. So now I'm going to pull, close the gap on the way up, closing the gap, stop at 300. That's where I need to stop. I did pretty good here. I'm going to unload back to about 450. Keep 450, and now back up, close the gap right here, close the gap, pull, hit the 300 where we went too far, so we're going to unload. 450 is what I like to be at, and in fact I'm going to have to extend here to get to 450. Now back up again, pull, close the gap. This is where I close the distance. And can I even pull for a shot here? Yes. No. Unload. Actually, yeah, keep unloading. We need to extend Alright, back to 450. Looks like he's ditched out into a horizontal rate fight, which is what I want. So see how he gets really close to the HUD? I actually don't want to pull him in here yet. I want to let off the stick a little bit and then wait till he gets to that position. Now go ahead and pull here. So even though he was really close to the HUD, that wasn't the spot where we pulled.
That's not fair. How? I don't understand.
That was a really good fight, actually. I feel like.
Well, that was a terrible ending. I don't know what just happened and got into a raid fight and suddenly you just got onto my tail. I mean, I was pulling into either offset G circle or a raid fight. Like I was doing everything right. You just, I was kind of dumb. It's a dumb ending. Good fight, but dumb ending.
So this merge got a little bit tricky in VR. I'm still trying to figure out all the head movements in VR, and sometimes I even get confused on where I'm supposed to be looking. I think I need to be going a little bit more right, but I'm just mainly trying to stay in lag. But the VR head placement right here is a little bit awkward for me. I need to unload, and it looks like we're just going to go into a loop fight. So I'm going to try to build the 450, pretty much just like the last round. And I actually lose position, I lose sight of him in VR. I know where he isn't, so I have to just trust he is where he isn't, if that makes sense. So we'll fast forward, because this is just like the last round. We are in the loop fight. So he's going to exit the loop fight here and go into a horizontal turn. And I'm going to let him extend away. Wait for my sight cue. Kind of getting my speeds right. Want to be around 430. When he gets in the correct position at the top of my screen and everything looks pretty good, we're going to start pulling him in, which is, it should be here. I don't have a lock. That's okay. I'm going to let him extend away again. Unload just a little bit, but he's at the top of the screen, so we're going to pull. We don't have to be at the perfect speed. You just, if it looks right, we're going to pull.
I lost you, bro. You were gone. Well, I don't. Where were you? Were you directly behind me or something?
Right on your 6.
You see, like people, like the dot doesn't really help me.
Yeah,
Like,
it could be in your blind
lose
spot.
pretty easily.
Like, if I'm directly
Even then,
behind
I
you.
can still see the dot. Oh, I can still see the dot.
What's your resolution?
1080.
Honestly, like, I would drop it even further. What's the next one down? 720?
Yeah.
The dot should be really big at 720. I know that maybe the graphics won't look the best, but your game will run better and the dots will be a whole lot bigger. So we've gone over the top. This is where we really need to watch his aspect. If he pulls back nose onto us, we'll have to get out of the way, but because he's kind of turning away from me, we can go ahead and pull lead for the shot. And I was actually surprised how fast we got back here. He's at the top of the screen, so we can start to pull. And we're gaining a lot of speed, so we need to be careful. As I look behind me, I actually thought he departed. So what I'm going to try to do is just go up and over and be safe. And this ended up turning into a game of chase. So I do remember this shot. I was trying to see if I could line up the shot, and I see his nose is going to be head on, so I'm going to push the stick down, negative G, just to get out of the way, and now I'm going to go back up and over. And this chase ended up being about 5 minutes, so I might go ahead and fast forward. So at this point, he's just trying to get me to overshoot. To avoid the overshoot, a lot of times I'll just go up and then roll back down on them. I find if I go up and stay up there too long, a lot of times that gives them the separation they need to turn their nose to get enough speed and then come straight up at me and get a shot at me. So it's kind of tricky trying to maintain your energy and not overshoot, but also not get so slow that they can create separation to get their nose back around on you. This is one of those tricky situations where I can see there's minus on the closure, so he's getting away. So I don't want to allow him to get so much separation that he can just completely turn around and shoot me head on. But also, I don't want to get so fast that I cause an overshoot. So it's a very difficult to fight the F-15 a lot of times when, at least for me, when the player likes to just extend out and get really, really fast and then slam on the brakes. It's kind of like being behind someone on the highway that likes to go really fast and then brake check you.
I'm on the radar. And that's a war crime.
I didn't see your gear.
Yeah. I'm still fine, but you just did. And I lost my hydraulics. It's war crime. I'm in the ocean. I go. Did you notice my nose was gone?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, that was like blind for about half that fight.
I noticed.
How'd you know? Like, well, did you notice because of the nose, or did you just notice because I was flying?
I noticed that your nose was missing.
These are decent dogfights. I know I could be doing better. I am like running 2 hours to save right now.
So I get a good merge right here, and I just kind of roll right into lag, which puts me right into a good position. I'm at perfect 430, and I'm just going to pull him into the HUD. Honestly, I don't know how these shots missed because the dot was right on him. And you're going to see the mistake I make, which is staying in a rolling scissor with an F-15. And I'll show you where I should have exited stage left. Right here. I should have just left, turned left, went into a rate. But instead, I go into this scissor type deal with the F-15, which turns this into a fight which lasts about 5 minutes longer than it should have.
I'm just running. I ain't even bothering. Yeah, you went up vertical. I didn't see you. I lost control for a split second.
You'll see the next mistake right here. I follow him nose down, which is always a mistake in the Viper. That's so annoying that I missed.
You don't like my jinx.
No, your jinx are fine. I'm just annoyed that I missed.
And you overshot.
It's so annoying.
Yeah, I know. It's just like you overshot too.
If you're in a plane that's AOA limited, you're going to overshoot if the other plane is at the same speed and can pull more AOA. It's just...
I think they back to the F-15. I think the max AOA of this aircraft is like 30. It's not very much.
The F-15C will pull as much as you want it to pull.
Not what this says. If you go in after it pulls everything. It stops around 30.
I did such a good merge too. That's the bad part about this. I did such a good merge, I just missed. So here you can see we're going to have to do a lot of work to get these circles lined back up the way they need to be so I can take a shot. And it's just going to be experimenting with getting some speed and then pulling and then getting some speed and then pulling. That was actually probably my best merge tonight. I just missed for some reason. So when I see him at the top of the screen, I'm going to start to pull, and you're going to see really the most important part of getting these offsets right is letting go of the stick. Even though he's the closest to the HUD, I'm going to let off the stick there and then unload again, and now pull him in again. So the relaxing part is really the most important.
I think that's enough for me.
All right, hope you enjoyed it a little bit.
It was okay.